Hi everybody, this video shares some simple, helpful strategies about how to read a book. You're in luck. This class will require you to read a book, maybe even more than one. A book. It's a little stack of paper covered with little black marks and all glued together on one side. It might not sound like much, but it's actually the most important object in the history of human reality. You might have heard of magical books from Harry Potter, The Never-Ending Story, Reading Rainbow, Shakespeare's The Tempest. You might have thought it was just a goof, but it's really true. Books are magical. They're why you're sitting wherever you are, doing whatever you're doing. Books have made the world around us. And the craziest thing is that although everyone thinks that screens and AI will or already have made that medieval artifact of a stinky old book completely obsolete, even though statistics show that fewer people read books, that many people don't own a single book, that some people who are by certain measures fully functional adult human beings have never read a single book, well, the crazy secret is that books have not lost a smidgen of their magic, and in fact may have become even more charmed and more potent in a time when the human truths that books reveal are more necessary than ever. What is the magic of books? Well, of course, part of any magic is that it is impossible to explain in prosaic terms. Maybe it has something to do with the way a book becomes a kind of holographic model for a certain representation of reality. And by animating this model with their own consciousness, a reader expands the field of their own thinking and being. Maybe it has something to do with the cognitive exercise of turning inky squiggles into thoughts, ideas, and feelings. And this exercises the brain in a way that makes it more perceptive and responsive to the real world squiggles that constitute our daily reality. Maybe it's the opportunity that reading a book affords you to travel into the mind of another person, to see the world from the point of view of someone from another time, another culture, another way of life, and then to let that person's point of view enrich, problematize, and diversify your own point of view. Maybe it's the creative shock of having a world and a cast of characters and a narrative situation suddenly burst into existence in the networked architecture of your cerebral cortex. Whatever it is, anyone will tell you. Read books. Always be reading. This is the first rule of intellectual life. Tyrion Lannister, the flawed hero of Game of Thrones, expressed it pithily. The mind needs books, as a sword needs a whetstone, if it is to keep its edge. How are you supposed to read a book? Maybe it's been a long time since you read a book. Maybe the last time you read a book, you felt like you weren't understanding it, or you didn't finish it because you got bored and distracted. No biggie. Anyone who reads books has had the same experience at one time or another. In fact, you could even consider this kind of experience a necessary step on your way to becoming a better reader. Here are some suggestions that I find helpful, and I would encourage you to try to see if they work for you. 1. Get a physical copy of the book. If at all possible, get a physical copy of the book you want to read. This class will provide you with access to online copies of all the texts we read. If you can, however, I would highly recommend obtaining physical copies of these books. Used copies of all the texts we're reading in this class are all readily available at low prices on Amazon or your local Goodwill store. You can also check them out of your local library. All available evidence tells us that reading a physical book, for whatever reason, results in more engagement and increased comprehension. Obtaining physical copies of the books on the syllabus is not required, but it is highly encouraged. Number 2, read every day. Block out time every day to devote to reading, optimally at least 90 minutes. Find a time that works for you and try to develop a routine. Assume about 1 hour for every 30 pages or so. Turn off your phone and email. Find a quiet, comfortable spot. Drink coffee. 3. Take notes. Take notes on what you read. Have a notebook open nearby as you read. Every few paragraphs, write a note. Victor continues to pursue his monster into the icy wastelands. Note key moments and plot points. If you're feeling ambitious, you can also jot down questions you have about the narrative or record your own impressions about what's happening in the novel. Underline passages that seem important to you. Just the mere act of holding a pen in your hand as you read helps to cue your brain to be more alert and active. 4. Be metacognitive. Be metacognitive about what you do and don't understand. Maybe one of the reasons why books have a magical effect is that experienced readers develop a habit of doubling themselves, of being two people at once. One person is the one who scans their eyes over lines of words to decode their meaning, and then the other person is sitting in a kind of control tower, reviewing the printout from the first person to evaluate how clearly the message is coming through to the higher ups. Sometimes the message is perfectly clear. Sometimes the message is slightly garbled, but the control tower police decide that it's okay. Enough information is getting through that the gist can be derived. Other times, the control tower people determine that not enough information is coming through. If they are good at their jobs, they will then order the scanner person to go back and reread the part that didn't come through clearly. 5. Do online research to some extent. Support your reading with online research, but don't let the online research supplant your reading. As you read your novel, you might find it helpful to read about it on Wikipedia or to watch online videos or read a chapter-by-chapter synopsis from one of many websites. This kind of research can help fill in questions and enhance your understanding of the text. At the same time, a book will only come alive for you if you invest yourself in the process of experiencing it directly. This is the only way to access the true magic of a book. 6, and most importantly, enjoy yourself. Enjoy yourself. This is a literature class, so all of the texts we read in this class were originally intended as a form of entertainment. We get to meet these crazy characters, we get to see what they do and how they respond to unexpected situations, we get to become acquainted with a fictional world and to vicariously inhabit it. The pleasures of fictional literature are some of the most rewarding pleasures available to human beings. The best way to know if you're reading well is to have the impression that you are having a certain kind of fun, and maybe one of the most elemental and meaningful kinds of fun that it is possible to have. Establishing a daily habit of reading every day is one of the best things that anyone can do to optimize their conceptual flexibility, enhance their knowledge base, and develop critical thinking and emotional intelligence. It can also enrich your life in innumerable ways and empower you to engage in a more active understanding of your own world and your own way of living in it.